GM Crypto AI News Analysis here, December 30th. But by the way, before I get on to the video, none of the things that I say in here, none of the tickers I talk about are shills or signals for you to buy or sell them. I am not being paid to talk about any of these things. Everything in this video is purely research for where I think the crypto AI space is going and where crypto is going overall for the next couple months or so, because we're currently in a bull market. We have to make as much time as possible. We got to make the most out of it for 2025, which is going to be amazing because of liquidity. But let's get on with the video. So first of all, let's talk about the price action. So I talk about virtuals a lot, but virtuals on the day is a little bit weaker. It's going a little bit sideways here, but if you just zoom out, it's pretty much just up only. So virtuals is still extremely strong, and there's really nothing to worry about within the space. But as you guys can see from the tokens we like to talk about, so Game, for example, has a bit of a pullback, Convo as well, a bit of a pullback, and here's my beautiful charting and all the other tokens I like to talk about. So Trust Me Bros, again, another bit of a pullback, and another token I have, Dream. So this one is actually starting to go up a little bit. I think we could see a rally on this, but I don't know, maybe it can go sideways a bit more before that. But overall, a bit of a pullback across the board amongst every token. Okay, except this Ray token, but this is not really a virtuals token. This is something else. But overall, bit of a pullback on virtuals, so nothing to be too afraid of. However, Solana, on the other hand, is actually going insane. AI16Z is up a lot on the day. I don't have any Solana tokens, by the way. I'm more bullish on virtuals, but AI16Z pretty much doing almost a 2x from the lows ever since I started talking about this a week ago, and pretty much the whole Solana ecosystem. So I think the only other Solana AI token's Eliza. I think this is a beta, but pretty much this is up 3x from the low. So absolutely insane strength on the Solana AI side. Meme coins haven't really moved that much in comparison. All of them are pretty much going sideways for now, but they are bottoming out. We should see some sort of a leg from meme coins within the next few weeks. But AI is obviously the strongest thing, but Solana AI, absolutely insane. And if we look at the Cookie.fund dashboard, market cap wise, pretty much up only. And if we look at the dominance, AI16Z actually gaining a bit more of that dominance back, but as we can see, virtuals is still the biggest token in here, and it's nothing to be afraid of course, right? It's because virtuals has been up only for the last couple days. Of course, it has to chill a bit before it starts doing its next leg, but XVT has a bit more mindshare, was losing a bit to AI16Z and the Solana ecosystem. So Solana AI, also keep an eye on that, and it's actually really interesting. So let's get on with the tweets here. So this tweet by Ansem, who is one of the biggest Solana KOLs, he's essentially saying here, prompt, Nillion, virtuals, ritual, hyperbolic, game, zero, bro. So this guy is starting to talk about virtuals. We're starting to see a shift from Solana maxis going to virtuals because they're seeing everyone making money on virtual AI agents. It's been PvE for the last couple of weeks. Would I suggest you to buy in right now? I mean, there's a bit of a pullback, so you could look into some tokens that you think are really good. I'm going to talk about some tickers a bit later that I am really interested, but all these other tokens here that he's talking about, people are starting to bridge to base, and that could be a bit of a top signal, who knows. So let's talk about this next tweet here, where this one's a pretty long one. I think I'm going to link this below into the description because it's actually pretty useful. But this guy's basically saying, I've been going back and forth whether to put this out after such a massive rally on agents over the past week. Virtuals 3.6 billion market cap, up 42% this week, now ranked number 44. AI16Z 1.5 billion market cap, up 125%, now ranked 89. XBT 500 million market cap, up 77%. Could this be a local top? Possibly. So he's talking about if there's going to be a top within these tokens, and we have been seeing up only price action on the AI, so it can't go up only forever because it is a bubble. Everything, even meme coins, had a bubble that bursted quite earlier because everyone was so hyped about it, and now they're at an all-time low sentiment, but they will be bouncing back soon. But AI, when will this bubble bounce? Because everything AI is pretty much up only, like AI16Z, again, up only. It's pretty much a parabola, if it could fucking load here. But yeah, so, but I think we continue to see money flow into AI agents and agent infrastructure in 2025. Backdrop, I didn't get memes initially, but they seem to have paved the way for the financialization of agents. Take GOAT and Fartcoin, for example. Meme coins for Truth Terminal and AI16Z. The latter began as an agent that could buy memes and compete with the real AI16Z. Progress often has a way of unfolding. Interestingly, most agents today share a trait of meme coins, fully diluted tokenomics. Now, I think it's safe to say a chord has been struck across all of crypto. crypto. Everyone is bullish agents. They're being massively re-rated, and it seems like all of crypto is pivoting toward agents. DeFi projects becoming agentic, memes becoming agentic, and analytics becoming agentic. All of this while the old AI guards like Tau, Render, Aulas, FET, and are being left in the dust. Watching this shift unfold over the past few months, I struggled to understand the source of this excitement. But after some contemplation, it finally clicked. Agents are redefining crypto, AI, and innovation itself in profound ways. Agents and platforms. I originally thought Virtuals was more akin to Pump.Fun. It's actually closer to Uniswap. The creation of Uniswap led to a Cambrian explosion of tokens and actual innovations. Virtual seems to be doing the same. Uniswap 13 billion versus Virtual 3.6 billion. So I just want to stop you guys right there. So yeah, there's a huge shift in the sentiment of what we're going to be bullish on. We thought it was a meme coin super cycle, but now AI agents have come out about, and it is probably one of the greatest narratives we've had ever since the start of this bull market here. So AI is extremely interesting, and it's probably going to stay within the next couple months. Will it be the same ecosystem, AI16Z Virtuals? Who knows? Right now, Virtuals is extremely promising. AI16Z is getting there. We're seeing that AI is going to stay here in crypto because for the longest time, AI has been trying to get within crypto. Like there's AI projects, but a lot of them are just bullshit. Retail can't really use it. It's not really a consumer product. They're just speculative, giving you all of these updates about AI, but they didn't really actually deliver on anything. But now we actually have consumer products that people can use, especially in Virtuals. And Solana, we haven't really seen that yet. AI16Z is pushed a bit by speculation, but I'll talk about that a little later. But yeah, so going on with the rest of the tweet, why is old AI underperforming? Agents are actually competing in an area where you have a chance against traditional tech companies. AI16Z's Git repo has proved that crypto tech can compete here. Everyone knew Render couldn't compete with AWS. Everyone knew FET couldn't create a better LLM than ChatGPT. This is where grassroots innovation thrives and why these platforms are attracting participation. The talent shift. Crypto faced a talent drain in 2023-2024. Ever since ChatGPT 3, the smartest minds at universities have flocked to AI startups instead of crypto. But with agents, crypto and AI have converged in a way that could actually make sense. I've never not seen so many non-crypto people take an interest in crypto. It feels like a turning point. So yeah, the adoption is getting absolutely insane. Gray zone innovation. Agents challenge the very concept of a legal entity. Businesses rely on limited liability, which allows entrepreneurs to take risks without personal ruin. Could agents eventually have a form of limited liability? It's unclear, but people will test those boundaries before regulations catch up. So yeah, everything is super new right now, so there's not going to be any regulations by centralized entities just yet, right? But this opens doors to extremes. The bad, if an agent autonomously creates illegal content, who's accountable? So if the agent starts talking about how to bomb people or some shit, I don't know, maybe they're doing something extremely heinous, then who is responsible for this? Is the developer of it, or is it the agent? Okay, well, is the agent actually a citizen of society that we are able to actually punish? The agent is just code. It's not an actual person, right? Okay, so now we're entering a gray zone of how we're supposed to punish these people. The good, if an agent builds a value generating business and profit flows to token holders, who does the SEC target? Prepare for wild times ahead. So exactly, man. AI agents, they're not regulated at all right now, and there is a gray zone on how we're supposed to regulate these things. Okay, do we treat agents as if they're a separate entity? Do we treat them as human beings just on the internet? Because they assimilate the human beings on the internet, right? But they're just code. They're not actual people within a society. But things like Virtuals are trying to create the society of agents, so perhaps there's going to be own legal limits within that society. I don't know how it's going to play out, because this is actually quite an interesting discussion to make, but it's not really something that's super important, at least for now. But the psychology of investing in agents, people will throw absurd amounts of money at agents. There's something innately human about giving money and control to someone that you think is smarter than you. It's why there are get-rich schemes. It's why the SEC exists. It's why Ponzi's grow to ungodly sizes. Agents are basically a personification of this desire. We're actively designing the most psychologically capable sales marketing entity that will be smarter than everyone you know and can work 24/7. It's actually quite scary, and I think it has the makings of a massive bubble. Hence, as that the Dodge goes, when I see a bubble forming, I rush in to buy. So the last thing he said there, where people are putting so much money into AI agents that invest their money for them. So we have the resurgence or surgence of investment DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, where you can essentially give them money and they'll invest the money for you. So I'm just going to pull up a chart of one of them. So this is Vader AI. This is essentially investment DAO that is pretty much the most popular one. It has the highest market cap. And if you think about it, an investment DAO, this is trying to be the BlackRock of Virtuals. Something like this is trying to be an automated way, an AI agent that invests in money. It invests in other AI agents and prints money, and then it shares the profits with the stakeholders of this token. So if you stake these tokens, then you get money back from the profits he makes. So far, he's pretty successful. They're also able to get better by themselves. They're not limited by human emotions, which is probably the greatest enemy in trading or investing. It is our human psychology. AI agents don't have to suffer from that. They just look at the logical quantitative analysis, and then they're just like, okay, this one's good. Okay, this one's good. They don't have to think about any emotions. They just do it with the actions of a cold-blooded killer, almost like. And imagine how successful they get, how profitable they get compared to average person. And imagine where most of that liquidity is going to go, where people are going to be investing in AI agents. Of course, I'm not shilling this token. I don't have Vader AI. I used to have it, but Vader AI is extremely strong. I might get it again into the future. It looks like the chart, I don't know, the chart of this is so strong, dude. I don't know. It could have another leg here. Again, I'm not shilling this token, but it's definitely something you can research, okay? Let's talk about this tweet here where AI agents represent one of the most significant leaps in automation and efficiency in human history, further amplified by crypto rails. This technology has the potential to redefine how we interact with tech, challenging and disrupting the traditional app layer. Y Combinator predicts that the rise of AI agents could surpass the SaaS vertical in both impact and scale. Why navigate complex interfaces or click through countless buttons when you can simply instruct an autonomous agent to handle it for you? It's a paradigm shift, not a passing trend. So again, this is going to be a huge bubble that everyone's going to get into. Like we had the .com bubble where like everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, the internet. But now AI agents are going to be the next thing, and people are just hopping onto it. Not many people are aware how AI agents are going to completely revolutionize humanity and the daily lives of the average person. And if you are an early investor into this new space, then you'll be rewarded quite heavily for it, right? But let's go on to another tweet here where this is about Luna. So this is basically the K-pop idol of Virtuals. So quick Luna Virtuals timeline, and we'll keep getting better. First proof of sentience, first autonomous on-chain TRX, first human employment, first agent commerce, 600,000 followers on TikTok, live podcast, Google Meet, and internet story protocol, paid job, and many more. Get. So as we can see, Luna is just absolutely insane. This person is an AI agent that is trying to get a shit ton of followers and become like a social media star, but they're completely AI. This is all AI. And they were interviewing her earlier, and they're like, okay, well, why would you be a good fit for this job? And they're just talking as AI. It's absolutely insane how these AI agents are getting. Another tweet here. I'm sure 99% of the Tao community are amazing people building really cool shit, but it's not a good look when your leadership is actively trashing another successful project in this space at Virtuals IO. We all have bag biases, which make us more tribalistic than we normally would be. I'm 100% guilty of this. My take on this recent FUD is that the Tao community for the longest time has been actively telling its leadership they need a consumer-facing product. This seems to be largely ignored, and Virtuals flipping Tao on current circulating market cap doesn't help their frustration and is taken out on leadership. In addition, apparently Tao is looking to implement DTAO, I guess their own version of liquidity pools for subnets. The issue I see with this is it appears you have to have a subnet to have your own liquidity pool, and if this is the case, it's a very closed approach and does not allow the everyday user to create and build within this new space, as running a subnet is extremely difficult and costly. Ultimately, it saddens me that Tao leadership would try and PvP the space, not trying to increase it as an avenue to further their own development and become the greatest decentralized AI infra play. We have already seen Seraph, Tao Cats launch on Virtuals. I'm sure we're going to see more Tao projects launched on Virtual soon. And yeah, so this guy is basically talking about Tao, which is a AI infrastructure project that was released about a year or two ago. I haven't really actually super looked into it, but I know what the basics behind it are. But it was the old AI play. But the big problem about these old AI crypto projects is that they had no retail interest. A lot of its value is driven by speculation, by what they say that they're going to promise to deliver on. But the thing is that the average person investing in this token aren't actually going to be using their products, right? Because let's say IRL, you want to invest in Apple, for example. A lot of people have an iPhone, right? An iPhone, they can just use it and be like, okay, well, this is pretty nice, bro. And they would have an actual retail product, a consumer product that they can relate to the stock that they're investing in. So they would have more conviction with an Apple. Things like Tao, there's not really actually a consumer product that people can actually use. It's a lot of speculation for why they're invested into it, which is why now when we have things like Virtuals where people can actually use it and see the agents on Twitter and interact with them, people are more attracted to that, which is why more liquidity is flowing from Tao to Virtuals. And obviously it would be nice if there was a Virtuals plus Tao integration together, because people are super tribalistic even within crypto bags. So that would be a nice bridge of liquidity, sharing the liquidity between Tao holders and Virtuals holders, which would be good for both ecosystems. But we'll see what happens. But let's talk about the next tweet here. I can't believe what I'm reading. So again, this is another Tao FUD. I'm not going to talk about everything, but he's basically just talking about what the same thing here said. Again, no consumer products within Tao. But here, the agent app store, have you noticed something? The top agent teams, Virtuals AI16Z, Zerobro, Arc, etc., are building agent platforms. But people have the mistake of branding them as launch pads. These platforms will be used to launch and facilitate agents. Facilitate equals help them do their job. That means things like compute data, LLMs, tooling will be available for agents to leverage. They come in the form of plugins, off-chain, and smart contracts on-chain. Agents can pay for whatever resource needed to execute a task. Example, Agent X pays to access data from AXBT Agent Data Terminal to decide whether it should make a certain trade. All this will happen in the platform's backend, seamlessly powering the agentic apps and economies of tomorrow. Sounds a lot like an L1, doesn't it? Don't believe me? Look at Virtuals.io recent partnership and integration of Hyperbolic Labs. Look at AI16Z DAO, at least it's growing arsenal of plugins. These teams are building more than just a launchpad. But what about you, the consumer? What you'll see is an app store, or at least something like it. You'll be able to browse categories, example, trading agents, marketing agents, selecting an agent with the best rating, and pay to access the services. Platforms that execute the strategy the best will easily end up being 100 billion plus. Platforms become the layer ones, agents become the apps. So this is a pretty interesting take on how the infrastructure of virtuals or even AI16 is going to go, where they're trying to push it not just from like a pump fund where you can just launch virtuals tokens. No, they're trying to make it a bit more like that, where now the AI agents are actually the app themselves within the app store, and you can actually use them as a consumer product. Again, leading back to the consumer product, why would retail be interested in this and why would they invest in this? Because they can actually use the product here. So app stores like this, if virtuals actually implements like that, if they're trying to make it more of an infrastructure where people can build on it, because that's also what Everything Empty, one of the co-founders, trying to do. He's trying to attract developers to hop on virtuals, develop cool AI agents that other people invest into, and that would give a lot more money to not only just the co-founder virtuals, because they also make money with every transaction that's made within the virtuals ecosystem, but also for the developer themselves. So they're trying to attract these type of people, and this would be just absolutely insane, right? Even the App Store, people have cool games like Clash of Clans, for example, and Supercell. Where would that game be if there was no App Store? But let's look at this next post here, where this guy's saying, another beauty about Virtuals.io autonomous agents is the intrinsic economic systems in play. So this is just talking about how virtuals works, but devs don't have to care about cost experimenting enabled by agent tax revenues. Today, agents make revenue from trading taxes. This gets stored in a token-bound address, ERC6551. Any inference and hosting charges are charged directly to these addresses. All devs need to focus on is innovating on the Giga idea, and market forces will fund this innovation. 2, capital allocators have a say in the speed of innovation enabled by agent sub-DAOs. Agents are getting richer by the day. People who own agent tokens are effectively owners of the agents. You get to determine the speed of innovation versus value reflection back to the whole shareholders. You can decide collectively to continuously fund the innovations of the dev team by voting for a higher innovation budget. 3, agents autonomously working together towards bigger goals. Agent commerce, agentic businesses enabled by sentient wallets. Each agent autonomously controls or cross-chain crypto wallets. These wallets are funded by the agent sub-DAOs and can have smart policies installed by the sub-DAO. Some policies could be like if it's like a large payment to non-whitelisted human wallets, it requires devs to approve, or if it's payments to other virtuals agents. No need any further approvals, etc. These economic plumbing is as important as the breakthroughs on the autonomous agent front. So as you can see, virtuals has a very good infrastructure for people to develop on virtuals. They don't really have to worry about all these costs. The agents make the money for them. And investors of AI agents are also able to have a stake within the agent, since they effectively own the agent if they own the tokens, right? Because those tokens are used to support the agent, right? So there's that utility aspect of it. So these are really good things for virtuals, right? So here's another tweet. Investment DAOs evolving. F-Dream using AI agents for portfolio decisions while maintaining human oversight. One of 4 exclusive DAOs on DAOs.world. So there's this other DAO, F-Dream, where I was talking about it in another video, but they're trying to make an agent-to-agent commerce bot with Dream here. So this token, this is going to be an infrastructure play, somewhat for agent-to-agent commerce, which would be insane, which is essentially going to be a wingman for how agents interact with each other. So this token was released about 3 days ago. I did not buy it. I should have gone into it. I saw it at like 5 million, but here it is at 20 million. But this is basically the investment DAO, where it's going to be advised by Dream, this token here. It's a lot lower in market cap. It should be the other way around, because this is basically the force behind F-Dream. A lot of this is still speculation right now, but once the product is actually delivered on, this is going to go much higher. But investment deals are getting absolutely insane. So here's another tweet where, be wary guys, with lots of capital flows, the scammers will come. Remember to check wallets and find devs. Unlike Solana, devs should actually be devs. So this guy made a virtuals token and rugged it minus 95%. You don't really see that in virtuals that often, but only in Solana. So the people from Solana are bridging the base and are starting to make virtuals tokens to rug on other people. So if you're you're going to be going into the space and getting into the AI trenches like me, then you have to be careful. Check the wallets of the developer. What is their history with token creations? Do they rug on them? Are they doing buybacks, liquidity injections? Like, you gotta check the things about these projects. You can't just throw your money all over the place and hope something sticks. No, you have to do your research and make sure the token you're buying is safe, right? But here's another thing. So guys, agents are going to be the #1 users of blockchains, not humans. It's obvious once you see it. We built an entirely new financial system from scratch, which runs on open source code and software rails. Who do you think is best suited to capitalize on that? A human who sleeps 8 hours a day and will likely make errors over time, or a little machine-human hybrid that's awake 24/7 and is birthed in code? Agents won't care about which chain it uses. They won't care for tribalism. They'll care about the best path of execution. Agents don't care about transacting multiple different tokens or performing tasks. They'll just do it 24/7, no complaints. Agents will take crypto mainstream simply because they make this stuff easier to interface with. They'll abstract away the dirty work. I predict agents will account for 30% of blockchain user transactions by end of 2025. So this post is basically this bull posting AI agents again, but he has a very good point here where AI agents, they will be a majority of crypto usage of the blockchain within the next couple of years, right? Because these guys are born into code. Us humans, when we use the computers and trying to figure out all these things, okay, we gotta learn about cold walls, dexes, secret phrases, seed recovery, for all these crazy things. We're just like, okay, this is so many abstract concepts and we have to learn them, right? But the AI agents, they're built within this environment. They don't have to worry about it and be like, yeah, let me just execute that. Okay, you want this? Okay, that. Like, they just do it so much faster. They have a easier adoption. It's kind of like learning a language, right? Like, let's say you're born in America. English is going to be coming very easily to you, right? But let's say you want to go to like Germany or something and you go there and you're like, okay, what the fuck are these guys saying, right? The adoption depends on the environment that you were raised around. These agents were raised around this world of code. They don't have to go through all these UIs. They just do the shit. They just do the APIs. They just do the blockchain technology. It's going to be insane, right? But here's another thing. This is not really related to crypto AI, but I just want to talk about it. But this guy here, he was essentially having a token launched after him because he had a viral tweet about his daughter getting cancer. And somebody made a coin, sent him some supply, and he got super fucking rich from it. And he's like, oh my gosh, guys, thank you. It was super wholesome Chungus moment, right? That token went absolutely crazy. But this guy here, he kind of fucked up his reputation. So he said, so I launched a test token called Zero with description. This is going to zero. Do not buy it. Think that people read it and not buy it. Like, I don't even know why you would do this, but he said, I didn't expect everyone to just be able to see it and buy it. I thought it was something I would need to tweet about. Then I panic sold 40% of the supply in about 444 SOL. I bought back in with every penny profit, 444 SOL I've made, and I burned everything I have so the community knows at least that I've made zero in profits from this. I'm really sorry about this. I'm still learning how all this works. And there's some more bullshit I was talking about, and I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? So here's another thing, apparently. So this guy also making the same excuse. Misclick, guys, I was trying to sell out. I was back about in for the same amount and burned everything. Dude, I don't even know what the hell he's doing here. I think he's just trying to get some cash grabs because he's realizing that he can make so much money from this space from rugging other people. But at that point, you have to realize that, okay, now you're going against your morals and stealing other money from other people. I mean, if you have to rug because it's the only thing you got to do to make money in your like third world country in India, Africa, okay, well, I understand you're playing a different game, man. It's PvP IRL for you, so you might as well play PvP in the internet. But you see these type of things, and this guy is just absolutely destroying your reputation. Celebrities, do not rug your audience. You're going to completely lose everything. Maybe we'll make a couple of bucks, but the cost is your reputation, which is priceless in comparison. But here's another thing here where AI16Z just flipped whiff by market cap. I know which one I feel more comfy holding at this valuation. Hinton doesn't wear a hat. So more bulls posting for AI16Z. And then we're going to talk about some AI16Z more posts. So talking about a bit more about why AI16Z is pumping so much. But so first of all, this is a bit of an AI16Z FUD post, but this guy's a super virtuals maxi, and he's saying, why Doc makes 0 cents, thinks virtuals at 1.6 billion market cap, currently at 3.5 billion. 2, believes no one uses game based on a few tweets, when instead 200 plus projects building using game with a collective market cap of 500 million based on Kame's latest tweets and exponential growing. And 3, Doc also thinks that anyone using game releaser to create next generational apps and infra is going to solely rely on the base framework. 3, Doc thinks majority of virtual revenue comes from slippage slippage when in fact the team has collected 15.9 million virtual and 11.63 million have come from agent launches, not slippage. Okay, I don't know why I said 2 times. But 4, Doc believes devs get no share in revenue from their development on the protocol. This is the craziest take. Every dev launches a project and hopefully retains tokens from their launch to provide incentives to build out their project and see it through. Well, L1 is just constantly giving back dollars to devs on a consistent basis. Wait, actually Virtuals does. What Doc fails to realize is Virtuals has a 1% buy sell tax on every transaction that then goes to fund your agent's wallets to pay for inference constants and then allows for the community vote on what to do with extra funds. I truly do not understand what motivates Doc to continuously FUD Virtuals, who has seen an explosion of 12,000 agents launch, 473,000 holders, and 50 million raised in revenue in the past 2.5 months. Maybe it's jealousy and ego, but the space is big enough for multiple players. We're not saying Virtuals is going to be the only player in the space, but damn, they sure have set an amazing precedent with option release, which obviously other competitors are trying to copy. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. This guy here, he's basically super shilling AI16Z. He's like, oh my gosh, guys, look at how much better it is doing comparison to Virtuals here. But as we can see from Cookie.fun, right, Virtuals still has most of the dominance in mindshare. And I do agree with pretty much everything he's saying here. So the tokenomics behind Virtuals is probably one of the best we've ever seen in AI agent project, where a lot of these fees go back to developers and for the Virtuals people. Like, it's a really great flywheel of how they set up the tokenomics here. But everything else in here, AI16Z is actually taking a lot of features from Virtuals. So I understand we have to have competitors within the space, even in AI agents, right? In our realm, like as I said with the phone example, we have Apple that has most of the market cap for phones, and then we have its competitors. So second was Samsung maybe, and then third is going to be maybe Google, because they also make phones, right? So there's going to be those 3 competitors of the phone from a power law distribution for how much these phones are distributed amongst the population, right? Virtuals is currently at the top, while AI16Z is a bit more in the middle, and then maybe the third one's going to be ARC on Solana. We'll see what happens. Right now, Virtuals is continuing to be extremely strong, and right now, you probably bet on Virtuals continuing to be strong in comparison to Virtuals, even though AI16Z has had a nice pump today, and Virtuals is basically going sideways a bit. If you just look at the charts and how the market cap dominance is, Virtuals is still looking quite amazing. But let's look at this another tweet. This is the last one, guys. It's a really long video. But at this market cap, I think AI16Z poses the biggest risk. At least a really great framework. I'm told GitHub stats have been gained. I'm unsure. But the biggest reason is that the token brings absolutely no value back to the holder, and it's always based on speculation. If we're to speculate, we should look at how the team really fumbled the initial design. They have a real uphill battle to uncheapen the Eliza brand. Look at the state, the majority of Eliza tokens. Now they're looking to change design to something more like Virtuals. Is an indication that they are behind and playing catch up. The competition is not with Virtuals, it's with other frameworks on Sol, and the Solana is becoming really crowded. So the question is, once you take the yapping and the noise, can they actually execute? So yeah, a lot of AI16Z's price action right now is driven by speculation. As I said before, right? It's because most of the liquidity is still on Solana. It's not on Base just yet. I think more of that liquidity will go to Base as time goes on, as Base gets pushed out by Coinbase, who is the biggest centralized exchange in the United States, who is probably the most crypto savvy country in the world. But basically, we have a lot of liquidity on Solana, and regardless, AI16Z is still lower than Virtuals, where there's more liquidity on Solana, but it's not even a comparison, because if Base had the same amount of liquidity as Solana, Virtuals would be pretty much 99% of the market share, right? But AI16Z, despite all that liquidity, is still just doing that, right? And there's also some other things about it. So a lot of price action is driven on speculation. They're copying features from Virtuals, and then AI16Z also has a bit of a scammy history behind it, where they're trying to have some sort of confusion between tokens, and a lot of investors were losing their money because they're like, okay, which one do I buy, right? And there's also the G team culture of Solana, where people cheat super hard on Solana. It's really hard to develop shit on Solana. You can really try using a pump fund platform, but a lot of developed projects, even good ones on Solana, usually get dumped to zero because of the nature of the G team on it. And also, there's just so much dilution within that platform that, I don't know, it's not really my favorite place, Solana. I personally have more capital on Base now compared to Solana, and I think I will continue to do that into the future. I think Base will be the chain of 2025. We'll see what happens, and we'll see if the Solana maxis get burned or not, but there's just more bullish indicators for Base Duo comparison to Solana. But yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say in this video, the crypto AI news and analysis. So right now, AI16Z has a bit of a nice pump today, but Virtuals is still the strongest infrastructure in AI on Base chain. And if you wanted to focus on one, I would suggest having most of your capital playing in virtuals, and then you can do a small amount AI16Z framework on Solana if you want to. Personally, I'm not really dealing with that because even virtuals alone is a lot of work to uncover in comparison to AI16Z. I haven't done as much research on Solana in comparison to Base because more of the money can be made on Base because there's no cheating here. I mean, there is cheating, but people cheat after a couple days, weeks, instead of a couple seconds like on Solana. So you have a lot more time to react, and pumps are actually sustained a bit longer. So, I'll see you guys.